spring planting tips, plant bargains, and a couple tips for spring planting. Still got to know when your first and last frost date is. And since we're still under the threat of frost here in Zone 7, northeastern Oklahoma, it's a perfect time to go ahead and get some of your cold weather seeds in the ground. I mean, our carrots are doing real good, cilantro, cabbages, the beets over there. It's way too early to put tomatoes or peppers in the ground. But right now is a perfect time to start them, and I'll show you my trick to that. So the local farm store is just getting their plants in, 6 packs for $3.69. It's like they got a little spinach, some cabbages. Right now in early spring is a great time to find unbeatable bargains. When you go cabbage or other brassicas, think of the pounds of food you can get off of each one of those plants. Here in Zone 7, it's still just a little early for tomatoes. It looks like several people have already been in here and got some. It's a little early for squash also. But they're just now starting to get the plants in. But if you bought carrots at 56 cents a piece, you're gonna lose money. Same thing with beets. Especially when you can come out here in the garden, put the seeds down, and they'll grow for you pretty easily. Even though it's way too early to put peppers or tomatoes out, at that price, if they would have had 6 packs, I might have considered picking 1 or 2 of them up if it was a nice variety. But they're gonna have to be in the house for a little while. I've got about to the end of April before I'm safe from frost here. All of our transplants from last week, everything else we already had planted in here is doing real good even after that spring storm we had. And we got buckets of rain, and then we got a frost. Our winter spinach is starting to take off, and the new seedlings are sprouted up just fine, and they've got their first and second true leaves. Now that our lettuce has sprouted, it's time to get some tomatoes and peppers into some dirt. In about 6 weeks, they'll be big enough to put out in the garden. We won't have to worry about frost. It'll be just about warm enough, and they'll take off. And yes, at that price, I got 3 different kinds of cabbages and another thing of Brussels sprouts. You know, there's multiple ways to start your seeds, but these food containers that have the little domes on them, there's no holes in the bottom, and for starting our seeds, we want them to stay moist. It's not like we have a growing plant that we want to drain and have a tray underneath. And these will only be in the dirt long enough to germinate. So a couple inches thick, got a nice little dome on top to hold the humidity. Let's fill this up with dirt and get some seeds in here. Today it's a little too wet to take any kind of soil out of the garden, so I'm just going to use some of my wife's potting mix. It'll be just fine. And all we're going to do is we're just going to scatter those seeds on top, make sure they've got soil contact, give them a little drink, and cover them. I plant it just like I'm going to plant sprouts. I'm just spreading these out. And since this is mixed tomatoes, I have no idea what we're going to get. I kind of like it that way. We're going to prick these out just as soon as they go ahead and germinate. Just give them some soil contact. And I'm just going to put just a little bit of soil back over the top. Make sure they're covered a little bit. Put that little dome back on it. It's got some vent holes, but that'll hold the moisture in there. Just that simple. Here in Zone 7, it's almost a little too late to plant any more garlic, but we're going to go ahead and put onions and potatoes. We're even going to put some peas in. And this bale I've left on purpose just to do potatoes. We're going to do it root stout style. As soon as we put the potatoes down, then we'll go ahead and cover them with hay. See what we get there. And this time of year, I'm able to scratch that itch to plant just a little bit. But right now is a really good time to go ahead and get your peppers, your eggplants, your tomatoes, get those seeds started. And your squash you can direct sow as soon as the ground gets warm. They're going to grow very, very fast, and they're going to produce a lot of food for you. We're not going to put the sweet potato slips in until Memorial Day. And then they'll grow from Memorial Day through Labor Day. There's probably a few other things I could start right now, but the tomatoes and peppers are high on my list. And in about 6 weeks, they'll be ready to come out here into the garden. So right now is a perfect time to get them sprouted, prick them out, put them in individual containers, and you'll be ready to go. This is what I'm counting on. Until next time, remember, take care of yourself, take care of your family, and God bless you.